It's Week 17 NFL review time. Let's go. Buffalo versus Atlanta. A fair reminder that the white stuff on the ground in this game was snow, not cocaine. There were some shenanigans early on a muffed punt that gave Atlanta a 2-0 lead, but the momentum was short-lived as Josh Allen ran in back-to-back touchdowns to give Buffalo a 14-2 lead. Allen threw 3 interceptions and had a dreadful 17 passer rating in this game, but it didn't matter, even when Atlanta fought back to take a 15-14 lead at halftime. Devin Singletary scored a 6-yard touchdown to give Buffalo a 22-15 lead entering the fourth, and another 4-yard touchdown in the fourth to give Buffalo a 29-15 lead to seal the game. Buffalo keeps possession of first place in the AFC East, at least for now. Chicago versus the Giants. I can't even take this game seriously. The Giants had 24 yards passing, and if you include sack yards, they had -10 net yards passing in 2022. That should be impossible. But never doubt Joe Judge, folks. As for the actual game, the Bears had a 14-0 lead after 1. The Giants kicked a field goal for their only points of the game. Chicago kicked a field goal, then got a safety when they tackled Devontae Booker in the end zone. They then added a second field goal to go up 22-3 at halftime. The second half was mostly more sadness on behalf of the Giants, and one more touchdown from David Montgomery to give Chicago a 29-3 lead, which would also be the final score. Just remember, Giants fans, Joe Judge once took a piss in a stall next to both Bill Belichick in New England and Nick Saban at Alabama, so he knows what he's doing. Seattle versus Detroit. It was a high-scoring affair and a game that meant absolutely nothing in the big picture. Seattle took a 17-0 lead early in the second quarter thanks to 2 Rashad Penny touchdown runs. Detroit answered back with an Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown run to make it 17-7. God, what a fucking awesome name, by the way. From now on, I will only answer to Amon-Ra St. McCockiner. Thank you. But then Seattle completely took over. Russell Wilson threw 3 straight touchdowns, including 2 to DK Metcalf to go up 38-7 early in the third. Detroit then answered back with 2 straight Tim Boyle touchdown passes to make it 38-22 entering the fourth, but Wilson found Metcalf again to go up 45-22. Detroit scored another touchdown to make it 45-29 with 7 minutes left, but that was basically it, as Seattle added 2 more field goals to make the final score 51-29. What a coaching performance by Brandy Love doppelganger Pete Carroll in his penultimate game as Seahawks head coach. New Orleans versus Carolina. I'm super pissed we didn't get to see more of future semi-pro Hall of Famer Ian Book at quarterback for New Orleans, but then again, Sean Payton knows best, as New Orleans won 18-10 over the shitty-ass Panthers. Carolina, quote-unquote, kicked off the scoring, get it, with a field goal to go up 3-0, but New Orleans answered back with a field goal of their own to make it 3-3 after 1. Chuba Hubbard then went beast mode on a 21-yard touchdown run for Carolina to go up 10-3, while New Orleans kicked back-to-back field goals to make it 10-9 Carolina at halftime. The second half would be all New Orleans, though, as they added another field goal in the third to make it 12-10 New Orleans entering the fourth. Then in the fourth, New Orleans finally got a touchdown on a 12-yard pass from Taysom Tebow to Alvin Kamara, but the 2-point conversion failed, so it was still an 8-point game. Carolina had 2 drives down 8 to do something, but failed each time to secure the win for New Orleans. Tampa Bay versus the Jets. This game will be remembered forever as the game Antonio Brown officially lost his mind and ended his NFL career forever by getting up and leaving the stadium midway through the third quarter with his team down 24-10. Remember that score, though, because the other thing this game will be remembered for is Tom Brady throwing a 33-yard touchdown pass with 15 seconds left to win 28-24. If you can do simple math, you can see the Bucs defense held the Jets scoreless from the time Antonio Brown had his meltdown to the end of the game. This allowed Brady to complete his comeback against a terrible team. New York was 1 play away from ending the game, but instead ran the worst quarterback sneak ever on 4th and 2, which failed, then compounded that mistake defensively by letting Tampa's wide receiver Cyril Grayson somehow get wide open downfield for the touchdown. How do Brady's receivers always get so fucking wide open? It breaks my brain. Of course, this is Brady we're talking about here, so his game-winning drive, he wasn't touched once and had all day to throw from comically clean pockets. Whatever. Eat Arby's. Tennessee versus Miami. Well, Dolphins fans, we all tried to warn you that your 7-game win streak was a farce that saw you guys beat up on a bunch of shitty quarterbacks. Now you finally ran into a good team like the Titans and got the shit kicked out of you 34-3. Overall, this game was remarkably boring and forgettable, even though it all but secured the 1 seed in the AFC for Tennessee. Tennessee went up 10-0, then Miami kicked a tiny field goal to make it 10-3. Then it became a rout. Deonta Foreman ran for a 21-yard touchdown to make it 17-3. Then Steve Stifler found Anthony Fursker for a touchdown to make it 24-3. Tennessee added a field goal to make it 27-3 before ending the scoring for good with a 39-yard touchdown run by Dontrell Hilliard. I keep trying to tell you all, Tua fans, that Tua turned the ball over is not that guy. You should have listened to me. Las Vegas versus Indianapolis. In a game with massive playoff implications, Las Vegas exploded early on to a 10-0 lead before the two teams exchanged exchanged field goals to make it 13-3 Las Vegas late in the second. However, Indianapolis would respond with back-to-back touchdowns. First off of a Jonathan Taylor touchdown run, then on a wacky prayer from Carson Wentz to T.Y. Hilton to make it 17-13 entering the fourth quarter. Then in the fourth quarter, it was all Hunter Renfrow. God, I fucking want him to date my daughter. Have I mentioned that before? Renfrow caught an 11-yard touchdown pass to give Vegas a 20-17 lead with 11:18 left, but Indy responded with a 9-minute field goal drive to make it 20-20 with 1:56 left. This was far too much time for eyeliner enthusiast Derek Carr to get his team into field goal range, including a huge 24-yard pass to Renfrow on 3rd and 10. Las Vegas kicker Daniel Carson then kicked the game-winning 33-yard field goal to give Vegas a crucial 23-20 win to improve to 9-7. New England versus Jacksonville. Do I really need to spend much time on this game? Okay, fine, I will, but only because I love you. New England took a 7-0 lead on a Damian Harris touchdown run. Jacksonville responded with a field goal to make it 7-3. Harris scored another touchdown to make it 14-3. Then Mac Jones threw 3 straight touchdown passes to both Christian Wilkerson and Jacoby Myers to make it 34-3 early in the third quarter. New England backup running back Ramondre Stevenson got in on the action, scoring a touchdown to make it 41-3. New England kicked a field goal to make it 44-3. Then Stevenson scored again to make it 50-3. Trevor Lawrence's struggles continued big time in this game, and his stats are scarily similar to Dwayne Haskins. He threw a garbage time touchdown pass to round out the scoring at 50-10, but still, the signs for Lawrence are very, very discouraging. Tough scene all around for Jacksonville. The LA Chargers versus Denver. This was a classic divisional rivalry game right down to the wire with heart-stopping plays, and nah, I'm just fucking with you. This was a blowout and pretty boring game all around. LA scored first on an Austin Eckler touchdown run to go up 7-0. They kicked a field goal to go up 10-0, then scored another touchdown to go up 17-0 before taking a 17-3 lead at halftime. After a Denver field goal early in the fourth made it 20-6, LA's Andre Roberts returned to kickoff 101 yards for a touchdown to make it 27-6. LA then added on to that lead with a 45-yard touchdown pass from Justin Herbert to Mike Williams to make it 34-6. Denver would add a sad touchdown to make it 34-13 and round out the scoring. Now LA and Vegas duke it out next week for a chance to make the playoffs. God, that just gets my nipples so hard. San Francisco versus Houston. I literally spent 5 hours crying in a McDonald's bathroom the moment I heard Jimmy Garoppolo wouldn't be playing in this game. The world needs his gorgeous face and body to heal immediately. Without Jimmy G's sexy presence, San Francisco still held up well, although they were facing the Texans. Davis Mills threw a touchdown to Brandon Cooks to give Houston a 7-0 lead late in the second quarter, but San Francisco kicked a field goal to make it a 7-3 game at halftime. From that point on, Trey Lance would take over, throwing touchdowns to Elijah Mitchell and Deebo Samuel to give San Fran a 17-7 lead early in the fourth. San Fran would then add 2 more field goals in the final 3 minutes 19 seconds to make the final score 23-7. San Fran is now 9-7 and in position to be a wildcard team, just as I predicted before the season. Credit to me. Philadelphia versus Washington. You're all fucked now that Philadelphia has officially clinched a playoff spot, baby. Yeah! For a moment, it looked as though they would have to wait another week or possibly a year, though, as Washington had a 10-0 lead after 1 quarter. But Boston Scott ran for a touchdown to make it 10-7. Then Washington added 2 more field goals to make it 16-7 at halftime. But this Eagles team is mentally tough, as Scott ran for another touchdown to make it 16-14 entering the fourth. Then with 11:41 left, Jake Elliott kicked the field goal to give Philly the lead 17-16. Washington turned it over on downs, then Philly added another field goal to make it a 20-16 game with 2:25 left. Philly's defense would hold strong as they picked off Taylor Heineke with 30 seconds left to seal the victory and have me ruin my 8th pair of underwear on the day. Eagles Super Bowl 56 champions, baby. It's happening. Deal with it. LA Rams versus Baltimore. It wasn't looking good for the Rams, and Stat Padford for a while in this one, as he threw several awful interceptions, including a 17-yard pick six that gave Baltimore a 7-0 lead after 1. Baltimore took a 10-0 lead after a Justin Tucker field goal before Stafford found first-team All-Daughter Dater Cooper Kupp to make it 10-7. Baltimore would add on 2 more field goals to take a 16-7 lead entering the fourth when the Rams finally stopped fucking around. Sony Michel plunged in for a 1-yard score to make it 16-14. Baltimore kicked another field goal with 4:30 left to make it 19-14, but Stafford then clutched up and found Odell Beckham for a huge conversion on 4th down, then again on the very next play for a go-ahead touchdown. The 2-point conversion failed, so LA had just a 20-19 lead, but Baltimore's Tyler Huntley was unable to do anything with the remaining time to seal the win for LA. Arizona versus Dallas. Oh, Dallas, you can never ever place your full trust in the Cowboys. Ever. This game is just another example of why. Arizona went up 10-0 thanks to a field goal and a 1-yard touchdown pass from Kyler Murray to Antoine Wesley. Dak would find Michael Gallup for a 21-yard score to make it 10-7, before Arizona added another field goal to make it 13-7 at halftime. In the third quarter, Murray found Wesley again to go up 19-7, then Arizona made a field goal to make it 22-7 going into the fourth quarter. In the fourth, Dak did what he does best, stat pad massively. He found Cedric Wilson for a touchdown to make it 22-14, 14. Arizona then kicked a field goal with 8:32 left to go up 25-14. Then Dak found Amari Cooper for a touchdown and 2-point conversion to make it a 25-22 game with 4:42 left. Dallas would never get the ball back again, as Arizona ran out the clock thanks in part to Kyler using his tiny little legs on the ground. Aw, it's so adorable. Cincinnati versus Kansas City. What a wacky and controversial game this was. Kansas City fans will say the refs cost them big time, while everybody else will say to just suck it up and be a man. The game started off with Patrick Mahomes finding Demarcus Robinson and Travis Kelce for touchdowns to take a 14-0 lead. But then Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase dropped their nuts and said they refused to lose this game. Burrow found Chase for a 72-yard touchdown to make it 14-7. Casey answered back with a 1-yard touchdown run to make it 21-7. Burrow found Chase again to make it 21-14. Casey answered with another 1-yard touchdown run to make it 28-14, before Cincy added a field goal to make it 28-17 Kansas City at halftime. In the third, Burrow found Chase for the third time to make it a 28-24 game. Then early in the fourth, Burrow found Tyler Boyd to give Cincy a 31-28 lead. KC would tie the game at 31 on a field goal with 6:01 left, but would never get the ball back, as Cincy converted on a 3rd and 27, 3rd and 1, and had 2 penalties on 4th down from Kansas City's 1-yard line to help set up Cincy with a chip shot game-winning field goal as time expired to give them a hard-fought 34-31 win. Green Bay versus Minnesota. Oh, what's that? You weren't excited to watch future Hall of Fame quarterback Sean Mannion take on a fellow Hall of Fame quarterback Aaron Rodgers on Sunday Night Football in a hated division rivalry? Are you even a real football fan? The story of this game was that Mannion sucks ass. Minnie never got anything going, and after a quiet 1.5 quarters to start the game, Aaron Rodgers finally woke up with back-to-back touchdown passes in the second to give Green Bay a 20-3 halftime lead. That lead expanded to 30-3 after an A.J. Dillon touchdown run and Mason Crosby field goal before a sad Minnesota touchdown made it 30-10 entering the fourth. Dillon would add another touchdown run to make it 37-10 to round out the scoring. Green Bay locked up the 1 seed in the NFC, and for the 3rd year in a row has a 13-3 record. They are still right on track to once again have a brutal, heartbreaking loss in the NFC Championship game. I think it'll once again be to the Buccaneers and Brady, but I hope not. Pittsburgh versus Cleveland. You really just expect me to sit here and act like everything is okay? Ben Roethlisberger's final home game ever just happened, and you're laughing like everything's okay? All joking aside, this game was uglier than the dimples on my ass. Ben won an average 2.7 yards per attempt on 46 attempts. 2.7. He somehow might have been the best quarterback on the field, as Baker Mayfield had a 53.1 passer rating. Pittsburgh had a 13-0 lead late in the third before the Bagel Boss found David Njoku for a touchdown to make it 13-7 Pitt. Pittsburgh then kicked 2 straight field goals to go up 19-7 with 6 minutes left. Then Cleveland added another touchdown to make it 19-14 with a minute 10 left. Cleveland's onside kick failed, and while running out the clock, Najee Harris broke off a 37-yard touchdown run just for shits and giggles to make the final score 26-14. Hold on to your nuts and butts, folks, because once again, it's puppy time.